Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. To understand why Loki would fear Shanks, we need to consider the background of both characters. Shanks is known for his mastery of Conqueror's Haki and as a formidable warrior. But in Elbaf, he might be seen as even more impressive. Elbaf is a land of warriors, and not just anyone earns their respect. So, if Shanks managed to do that, it's because he demonstrated an extraordinary strength or value. Something that even Loki, the sun god and the strongest warrior in Elbaf, couldn't surpass. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. It's possible that years ago, Shanks went to Elbaf on a secret, delicate mission to protect that kingdom from the new king of the giants. Potentially something related to Loki himself. Imagine the situation. Loki, feared for his skill and the power of his devil fruit, the powerful fruit inherited by the kings of giants, rebelled against his own nation, perhaps seeking power or simply destruction. This is something we can almost be sure of. After all, Loki simply showed his malice. He took his own father's life solely to steal the power of his devil fruit before the time he would naturally inherit it. He didn't want to wait. He wanted that power. And for what? Loki calls himself the sun god who will bring an end to this world. This already shows us he has a distorted view of the sun god. He believes that power comes from the fruit inherited by the king of the giants, and he seems to disregard Nika's concept of freedom, instead believing he must destroy everything. He wants to corrupt that legend and simply destroy Elbaf and the entire world. In this context, Elbaf would have turned to an outsider, someone powerful and trustworthy, and that person was Shanks. I believe that in the confrontation between Shanks and Loki, Shanks demonstrated such overwhelming strength and haki that it traumatized Loki. This could explain Loki's fear of the red-hair. Shanks' Conqueror's Haki is legendary, and if he used it at full strength to subdue Loki, it would have left a mark, both physical and psychological. Shanks probably used his Conqueror's Haki to take down any of Loki's subordinates, and in a fierce battle managed to have Loki imprisoned. After all, we see this in chapter 1131 of the manga, where the place where Loki is imprisoned, known as the First World, is shown as a place where sunlight doesn't reach and is dominated by monsters even larger than those we've seen before. The humans, who challenged Elbaf, were also thrown into this place and became Loki's subordinates to survive. They believed that the monsters would devour Luffy, just like all the intruders who fell there. However, he only feels nostalgia seeing creatures that remind him of his friends from Ruskena Island. In the blink of an eye, his Conqueror's Haki turns the mountain masters into tame animals, which makes everyone remember Shanks immediately, as he recently did the same. But unlike Luffy, he also made everyone in that place faint. An interesting detail is Loki's prison location, the Adam's Treasure Tree, a place that seems especially built to contain someone of his power. This tree not only blocks sunlight from reaching the area where Loki is imprisoned, but is also surrounded by monsters. It's possible that Shanks chose this location specifically, knowing that beyond the Kairoseki chains, the surrounding nature would prevent Loki from escaping easily. Perhaps Shanks knew this place from his time exploring the New World waters with Roger's crew and suggested this prison for its effectiveness as a natural cell. We can't forget that Shanks is a peacekeeper and apparently someone who wants to see the sun god bringing freedom to the world. The red-haired one is someone who seeks to maintain balance. Seeing a giant with uncontrollable ambitions like Loki threatening Elbaf's peace, he wouldn't have ignored it. In Shanks' mind, allowing Loki to remain free could mean more chaos in the world, and that goes against his principles. Moreover, since Elbaf is the most powerful and respected nation regarding strength, if one of its own members, a giant, became a threat to world order, Shanks would see that as a risk for everyone. Another point is that Shanks may have a special relationship with Elbaf. The giants, as we know, are honorable warriors, and Shanks may have made a pact with them at some point in the past. After all, many places in the New World are under the red-haired pirates' protection, and there have always been theories that Shanks' crew even used Elbaf as their main base. This would explain his desire to protect the nation from the internal threat represented by Loki. There is even the possibility that Shanks was trained or taught in Elbaf during his youth, and therefore he feels committed to that land. It's curious how Loki's imprisonment involves Kairoseki chains, a rare and hard-to-obtain material in quantities enough to hold a giant. This raises the question, who provided the Kairoseki? Once again, Shanks might be the link that connects everything. He has a powerful network of allies, and if anyone could gather enough resources to create such powerful chains, it's him. Additionally, Shanks understands well the weaknesses of devil fruit users, and would know how to handle Loki and his false sun god fruit. Assuming Loki has a devil fruit with powers similar to Luffy's, which would allow him to have a flexible way of using his body, this makes the use of Kairoseki even more plausible, and reinforces the idea that Shanks was an essential strategist in his capture. However, it's worth remembering that Mother Carmel possessed the fruit now used by Big Mom, and at one point, she used that power to stop a fire caused by Charlotte Linlin herself, creating a homie in the shape of the sun. This made the citizens of Elbaf believe that this was the sun god himself. This suggests that perhaps the people of Elbaf don't know the true sun god and believe he is someone with powers truly connected to the sun powers with intense flames, and maybe even a transformation related or similar to a star. This could explain the logic behind imprisoning Loki with chains and keeping him in darkness so he cannot manipulate solar energy, something that also seems like something Shanks would conceive. After all, he knows that nature has a powerful role in devil fruits. We saw this in Alabasta, where Crocodile had a major advantage using his sand-based Logia devil fruit, the Suna Suna no Mi. In that environment, he could manipulate the desert sand effortlessly, giving him a great edge against any potential enemy. His fruit was fortified by the surrounding nature, making it quite reasonable to prevent Loki from accessing sunlight. We can't forget that the red-haired pirates were in Elbaf during the Egghead incident, and this might have a purpose beyond what we see. It could be that Shanks has unfinished business with Loki. Shanks may have returned to ensure that his old enemy, the one he himself imprisoned, remains secure and out of circulation. This may have raised suspicions and rumors among Loki's subordinates, who now see Shanks as a symbol of oppression and unmatchable strength. The mere mention of Shanks' name puts Loki on high alert, as he knows what the red-haired man is capable of. By mentioning Shanks' name to Luffy, Loki perhaps hopes to gain information, or even spark a conflict between Luffy and the red-haired. The manipulation here is clear. Loki sees in Luffy the key to his freedom, but also a chance for revenge against Shanks, even if indirectly. Loki's fear is not just physical, it's emotional and mental, rooted in a crushing defeat and humiliation he never fully overcame. Loki appears to be a master manipulator, and he may try to use this to deceive Luffy. However, Shanks is a strategist, and likely knows the kind of manipulation Loki is capable of. Shanks would have anticipated that Loki might try to exploit any ally of Shanks who passes by. In a way, Shanks prepared Elbaf and its people so no one would blindly trust Loki's words. Loki realizes that by manipulating Luffy's emotions, he might create a chance to escape. However, Luffy's spirit and his unwavering respect for Shanks make this difficult. Even though Luffy is naive, he has a strong sense of loyalty and won't be easily swayed by insults against someone he deeply admires. This creates an interesting tension. Loki underestimates Luffy while overestimating his own ability to deceive. This mistake could potentially lead to Loki's frustration. He thinks Luffy is an easy puppet to control, but is wrong in thinking that any provocation against Shanks will be effective. Luffy may be impressionable, but his loyalty is unbreakable, especially when it comes to his role model. However, the situation may play out differently. After all, we know the manga is inevitably setting the stage for an epic physical clash between Luffy and Loki, and it's possible that Loki possesses a sun god power that's different and more literal, a devil fruit directly linked to the sun. Unlike the power of Nika, the god of freedom that Luffy awakened, Loki would have a devastating power with the ability to manipulate solar energy and flames on a grand and destructive scale. This would pit the two in a battle of gods, a playful, liberating sun versus a burning, destructive sun. Freed by Luffy, perhaps tricked by Loki's act of repentance or vulnerability, Loki regains his full power and uses it to threaten Elbaf. He could have manipulated Luffy, claiming that Shanks imprisoned him unjustly to maintain his power and control Elbaf, inciting Luffy's rebellious side that revolts against any kind of oppression. Convinced he's liberating someone wrongly imprisoned, Luffy inadvertently gives Loki what he wanted, the freedom to resume his plan for domination. With this sun-godded power, Loki would become a formidable enemy for Luffy and for the kingdom of Elbaf itself. His devil fruit might allow him to manipulate sunlight directly, launching fire blasts as intense as the sun's own heat, or creating solar energy spheres that explode on impact, causing massive destruction. Loki might even be able to control the weather and call forth the sun, intensifying light and heat over an area, making the battlefield nearly uninhabitable for anyone but himself. That would be epic! But what do you all think about this? Let's discuss. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.